we were talking about the possible scenarios in the region after yesterday's escalation. Professor Edmond, you were talking about what possible scenarios for Iran. Now, if we would like to compare the response between yesterday and the previous one in April by Iran, now definitely there were similar actions, but the most important thing is that the different weapons and the different timings and the time period that took the weapons actually to the missiles to actually reach Tel Aviv was significantly changed. What do you think of this display of weapons and power in such a specific time?
It is very interesting, actually. The Iranians used hypersonic and ballistic missiles, basically, and they hit different parts in Israel. We don't know enough about the targets, what was hit, what was the damage. Not to report on that, and also they asked the population at the same time also not to take pictures, photos, and not to talk about what happened. But clearly there was an escalation in the quality of weapons that were used. Also, the Iranians, during the previous attack, they basically telegraphed that they were going to attack. The West, also the U.S. with some of its allies, said that they would basically try to bring down some of these. And to a large extent, I think they were successful. Nevertheless, I think this was a message being sent to Israel and to a certain extent to the U.S. as well.
Right.
That Iran has the capability to reach Israel and that there would be a more severe response. But what's even more interesting is that, again, the Israelis the Iranians avoided attacking civilian areas, unlike what Israel has been doing, which is attacking civilians and killing civilians. They attacked mostly military targets, and these were in all parts, in various parts of Israel.
Right.
Sending a message they could reach inside Israel. So
now,
that,
right.
I think, very significant. Yeah.
Yeah. Laurie, in your opinion, what possible scenarios is there for Israel in a full-out war? Do you think Israel has gained also worldwide support and sympathy after Tuesday's attack? And would that be impactful in the coming hours and the coming days?
I think that there is sympathy for Israel in the fact that what they went through on October 7th, what the people that are alive, still living in Israel, as I mentioned earlier, continuing to live through. But I think that there is also concern, and there's a tone that they are continuing to watch Netanyahu, as I stated earlier, just continue to encroach further and further and further into other territory, saying, yes, that he is taking out terrorist proxies, terrorist leaders, etc., etc. But again, what is the strategy here? Is that your strategy, just to continue to go into any area you want to in any of the borders, and you're just going to use the mission that, oh, we're going to take out terrorist organizations and leaders? But who cares about the consequences to civilians, to historical sites, to culture, to potential World War III? That can't happen. The world, our allies, cannot just continue to let Netanyahu take his own singular approach, and that's what's angering most of the neighboring communities, and especially the Arab Americans here in the United States, especially during a 35 days until our presidential election, is why do we just continue to give blanket support to Netanyahu and what he's doing? They don't understand the strategy either. What is the long-term plan, and what does that look like? Also, as far as the United States involvement. And I'm sure Kamala Harris is concerned about this as well. When she is elected the next president of the United States, what does that mean for her? Her team is already planning to address what those issues are. But last night during the vice presidential debate, you heard there was no plan out of J.D. Vance and a Trump administration Tim Walz communicated effectively what that would look like from a Harris-Walz administration. J.D. Vance, all he did was talk about himself, and he didn't even talk about Israel or the Arab community, or our neighboring allies in the region and what continues to happen. He won't support Arabs. They're not going to support Israel either.